Have you been coaching for a while, but you can't seem to shake your imposter syndrome? Or maybe you're a new coach, but you're scared to put yourself out there and market yourself because every time you do, you feel like a fraud. If you feel like a complete imposter as a coach, have no fear. In this video, I'm gonna tell you how you can get over your imposter syndrome as a new coach. Let's get into it. Hey, Courtney Sanders here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to me, I'm a full-time online business coach as well as wife and mom. I do all the things, I wear all the hats, but I have actually been a coach for 5 years now. I'm relatively young. I'm in my early 30s. I won't tell you my age as of this recording, but all you need to know is that I got started coaching in my 20s, in my late 20s. I think I was 27. 28 or so when I really got into the swing of things. And so one of the biggest questions that I get is, where did you get your confidence? How did you get over imposter syndrome? I wonder if people think that I'm a fraud. Courtney, help me. I really want to get out there as a coach. And so I don't say this to say that I had no fears or that I never had imposter syndrome or anything like that. I mean, of course I did, but I pushed through it, and I'm really glad that I did because I've been able to build a beautiful coaching practice in the process that I would not have done had I let those fears get the best of me. So if you're ready to be done with imposter syndrome, you know you're good at what you do, and you just want to shut up those little voices in your head so that you can be the coach that you know you were meant to be, stay tuned. We're going to get into it right now. Okay, the first thing that you need to do in order to overcome imposter syndrome is focus on your results and not your credentials, okay? I think in the 9-to-5 corporate world, we have been trained to really place our value in, these achievements, these badges, these letters behind our names. And while there's nothing wrong with that, and I don't think there's anything wrong with even getting a coaching certification, for the record, I don't have one. I talk about how I've been able to build a multi-six-figure coaching business without a certification in this video here or wherever it's at on the screen. But whether you have a certification or not, whether you have a degree in whatever it is you're teaching or not, understand that your value really lies in the results that you are able to get other people, not in your credentials. Because quiet as it's kept, there are a lot of people with amazing credentials and amazing letters behind their name who try to get into the coaching business, and they think just because they, were a professional in XYZ field that it should just automatically be easy for them. But coaching is a whole different ball game. And so they find that they start working with clients, and clients aren't getting the results that they're looking for. And despite all of those credentials, it's just very difficult for them to get results as a coach. So have no fear, whether you have credentials or not. If you've gotten yourself a result and you can translate that experience into getting other people a result, you need not feel like an imposter, because you're not an imposter. A coach is somebody who can get somebody from point A to point B. And so if you can do that successfully, whether or not you have credentials, then you really have no business feeling like an imposter, because you're not. You're a coach. All right, the second thing you need to do in order to get over imposter syndrome is to allow yourself to be a work in progress. Now, we all know and love the iPhone, right? As I'm recording this, I think we're on iPhone 12? Imagine if Steve Jobs never released the iPhone because he wanted it to be at iPhone 12 level when it was at iPhone 1, right? It doesn't matter how good you are, you will always get better over time, and you will always get better with experience. And so you really just have to allow yourself that grace, allow yourself that process of being a work in process. Just because you're a work in process doesn't mean you're bad. I'm a way better coach than I was in the beginning when I was 27 or 28, but that doesn't mean that I was a bad coach then. How do I know? Again, go back to the first step that I talked about, because I was still able to get my clients results. But within the process of me putting myself out there and working with clients, that's how I was able to gain the experience and learn, this works better than this, and maybe I should tweak this and do that. And it was a very iterative process, and that's what really allowed me to grow my skills as a coach. But if I waited on the sidelines until I was the world's, best coach, then I would have never even gotten started. So think of yourself like that iPhone. When the first iPhone came out, we all went nuts. Didn't you go nuts? I went nuts. I've been an iPhone user for like 11 years now, right? Or however long the iPhones have been out, I've been an iPhone user. I've never had another phone since the iPhone came out. And the phone that I have now is way better than the first iPhone, but I'm so grateful that they came out with it and that they were continuing to update it and make changes as they went along. And so you as a coach are no different. All right, to get over imposter syndrome, go narrow and not broad. So this is actually the advice that I gave to somebody who hit me up in the DMs. This is why you should be following me on Instagram. I give great advice. But I was explaining that when you're just getting started, part of the reason why you feel like a fraud or like you have imposter syndrome is because you're trying to go too broad. And I feel like I always pick on the life coaches, but I just see this problem with life coaches the most because life coaches or self-love coaches or confidence coaches, they tend to want to like do the whole shebang. So they're billing themselves as a life coach, but then they feel like an imposter because they're like, oh, what if I can't help you with your whole life? Don't try to help people with their whole life. Don't try to help people with their whole confidence. Don't try to help people with their whole self-love. Go narrow. Think about a specific, segment of self-love, of confidence, of life coaching that you can really, really be good at and that you can really get results in. So the example that I always give is when I first started off as a life coach, I didn't bill myself as like, oh, I can help you get your whole life together. I knew that I was really good at mastering self-discipline. I had gotten that result for myself. I had really turned my life around and was able to become a more self-disciplined person. And so that I knew that I could help other people do the same. And so I really focused on that almost exclusively. In many ways, I was a self-discipline coach more than I was a life coach, but that was the segment of life coaching that I really focused on. And because I went narrow, I was able to get my clients results in self-discipline. I got a lot of clients results in self-discipline. Like a lot of clients started to work with me. I had thousands of clients go through my self-discipline courses. I mean, I really made a name for myself in the self-discipline arena. And I did that because I went narrow. And so because I was able to generate those results for my clients, that's what started to give me the confidence and the moxie to start to branch out into other arenas. I started to get into time management, and people started to ask me business questions, and I got into business, and that's how I've gotten here today. But I didn't start, being able to do all these things. I started really narrow where I was confident, and I allowed my confidence to grow as my expertise and my results grew. All right, I got more tips where that came from, but first I want to know, why do you feel like an imposter? What specifically do you feel like an imposter around? Do you feel like you don't have enough experience or too young? What is it? Go ahead and share in the comments below. All right, the fourth thing you need to do to shut down all those little voices in your head that says you're an imposter is stop comparing yourself. So I kind of touched on this a little bit with the third point in terms of going narrow instead of going broad. Part of the reason we feel like we have to go broad is because we're looking at all these other people who have been in the game way longer than us and have had way more opportunities to brush up on their skills. I'm gonna tell you this, stop looking at Tony Robbins, okay? Just stop it. Not that I have anything against Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins is amazing, but Tony Robbins been in the game since the 80s, okay? He been around the block and down the corner, okay? Tony Robbins is a veteran. A lot of the things that he can do, that he can coach on, is because he has amassed decades of experience and worked literally with millions of different type of people. If you are just getting started, you have to be comfortable starting where you are. So again, going back to that third point, going narrow and not broad, if all you can coach on is self-discipline like me, when I was 27, own that, be proud of that, and just really focus on that. But when you start to compare yourself to other people and how successful they are and all the different arenas within their niche that they're able to coach on, that's what brings in the imposter syndrome. Comparison-itis is the worst. So just stop comparing yourself to other people, including me, and that will squash a lot of this imposter syndrome. All right, the fifth thing you need to do, which is really just kind of a summary of all of these tips, is you really need to work on your mindset. So part of being a coach is that you are kind of giving of yourself to your clients, and it's kind of an intimate process. Like it's very, could be very emotionally draining, if you don't have your mindset right. And so really you need to be intentional and disciplined about getting your mindset together. So if you have not worked with a coach, because this is a big one, a lot of people want to coach, but they don't want to pay coaches to coach them. And I'm like, sis, that's a problem, all right? You need to be hiring a coach to help you with whatever it is that you've got going on, whether it's a mindset coach, whether it's a money coach, whether it's your own life coach, whether it's a business coach like me. You want to have a coach in your corner in some arena, not just for the information that they provide on a specific, area of your life, but also because they help you get into the right mindset and they help you model what it looks like to be a confident coach. So working on your mindset, honestly, is something that never stops. Even when you overcome, certain, imposter syndrome around a certain arena, once you get to the next level, then imposter syndrome starts to, come up there. And so you need to work on your mindset at that level. So make sure that you are reading books, that you are listening to inspiring things, that you're watching the inspiring things, and that you are being coached or being mentored by other people who can help you get into the right frame of mind. All right, so I hope this helps you get over imposter syndrome. If you're ready to let imposter syndrome go and start actually working with clients, and I invite you to sign up for my Consistent Client Masterclass, which is completely free and will help you and show you how to attract clients consistently. I give the entire process on this free masterclass, but I need you to be confident in your ability in order to implement the things that I'm going to teach you on this masterclass, all right? So if I did my job, hopefully you've let go of the imposter syndrome and you can now step into your greatness as a coach and attract those clients. So if you want to join that masterclass, go ahead and do that at CourtneyLSanders.com/masterclass. All right, I hope you really enjoyed this video and that it was helpful for you. If so, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe and don't forget to check out my podcast, The Courtney Sanders Show. I have episodes that go live twice a week. So, if you're not satisfied with my once a week YouTube videos, then mosey on over to iTunes or Spotify and search The Courtney Sanders Show to subscribe there to get even more goodies from me. And if you can't even wait, for the twice a week podcast, then make sure you are following me on Instagram. I love it when you guys hit me up, send me DMs. It's CourtneyLSanders on Instagram, and you can get a lot of great coaching and business and online marketing tips there as well. So with that, I will see you in the next video. Bye.